The Homestead Miami Speedway. The 1.5-mile oval has been a staple for championship battles and great racing here in the 2000s, creating tons of memories as the season-ending 400-mile event. The league superstars have shined the brightest, with the Florida palm trees enacting as the backdrop. Now, for one more time in Miami and the 2010s, one name will hoist the NASCAR Cup Series trophy. 3 are vying for a second consecutive championship, something lacking since Jimmie Johnson went back-to-back in 2007. One veteran, however, longs to get his hands on the one prize eluding his career. They've accounted for 21 of the 35 victories, truly a competition of the best. Not to mention, all 4 of these drivers drove for Chevrolet in 2007. Time to analyze the 4 competitors and make a prediction on who will win the season championship. Flashback to last November, it was an extremely emotional season finale for MTJ. Not only did he lose the damn war to Joey Logano, but the team that made him a NASCAR superstar was closing its doors. Barney Visser and the little team from Denver, Colorado re-energized MTJ's passion behind the wheel. It was heartbreaking to see the team turn the key. Despite landing at Joe Gibbs Racing, many questioned whether he would reach that same success. It's easy to get lost, especially with Kyle Busch as the face of the franchise. One campaign later, it's safe to say MTJ has fit into the JGR culture. The 19 started out sluggish, but once Cole Pearn and crew got things going, the wins followed suit. The Demons were exercised in April to claim his first short track victory at Richmond. Elite performances at Dover, Charlotte, and Sonoma increased the 2017 championship vibes. Race 1 of the playoffs, however, that was truly the moment where MTJ cashed in his chips as a title favorite. It was a statement outing at the 1.5-mile Las Vegas Oval, marking as his 3rd playoff opening victory in 4 seasons. Richmond the next week, he was dumped by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. while leading the race. Most drivers tend to lose their cool in those situations, but MTJ was ice cold. It would merely be extra practice for his burnout 85 laps later. Martinsville in the round of 8 was the complete package of high points for the 19 team. Vintage domination from flag to flag, leading 464 laps, sweeping the stages and winning the race. It's been that resilience all season long, as well as the last 4 campaigns. Once a driver with 3 victories in 10 seasons has become NASCAR's top dog. His 23 wins from 2016 to 2019 is the greatest since Jimmie Johnson's 30 from 2007 to 2010. Now, one final task lies ahead for the 2017 champion: win Homestead and claim his 2nd championship in 3 years. Beginning the 2010s, his career was in limbo, and many debated whether he was a NASCAR bust. Now, he has the chance to end this decade as a league pioneer, winning titles with both the small Denver shop and now the mothership in JGR. For the 5th time under the playoff format, the closer has closed out another trip to Miami. Last season, they were the freaky fast dominators, but let a 2nd championship slip away through 400 miles. This season, the journey hasn't been as easy. Ford switched to the new Mustang, throwing a new aerodynamic challenge for Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childress to figure out. While they didn't struggle right out of the gate, SHR didn't stride like Roger Penske's 3 horses. Exiting Kentucky, the organization remained winless and had a severe lack of long-run speed. Harvick finished the 400-mile race in 22nd, 1 lap off the lead pace. Not to mention, you had the same countless pit issues that plagued them for years, preventing them from getting the victory. Yet, Harvick was vastly consistent among the likes of Kyle Busch and Joey Logano for the regular season championship. Eventually, the nearly 2-decade veteran would restake his claim. And surely enough, that moment would come on a sunny afternoon in Lobster Country. It was a blue-collar beating and banging victory, one that would redefine the 4-team season. The summer stretch saw the sleek Mobil 1 Mustang win Michigan and the regular season finale in Indianapolis, leading 118 circuits at the famed Yard of Bricks, drubbing the field by a country mile. After consistently pointing past the first 2 rounds, Rodney Childress and crew came up big in the Lone Star State. Kevin Harvick put a Texas-sized drubbing on the competition, winning the Fall Texas race for the 3rd year in a row. Advancing to the big race, the 2014 champions are going for the Cup once again. This time around, there's a sentimental aspect in winning his 2nd championship. Just recently, Kevin Harvick tied the boss man Tony Stewart with 49 career victories back in Texas. A win on Sunday would vault him into the 50-win club alongside recent members Jimmie Johnson and Kyle Busch. Not to mention, this is also the conclusion of RCR's 50th anniversary season. It would be fitting to see Richard Childress witness his former superstar win title number 2, considering his disastrous calendar year. That would be yet another low point for the welcome North Carolina shop, at least on the Cup side of things. When you think of Denny Hamlin, you typically think of coming up short. Crown jewel victories along with stellar regular seasons, but always short of winning a Cup championship in November. 2018 was probably the low point for the driver hailing from Virginia. He went winless for the first time in his career and was axed in the round of 16. Meanwhile, former teammate and rival Joey Logano claimed his first taste of the Cup. As a result, Mike Wheeler was regressed to LFR with new blood emerging in Chris Gabehart. A brand new paint scheme attempted to erase the past and create a fresh new image for the future. 2019 would be hailed as the new Denny Hamlin. The reset started out with confetti in the season-opening Daytona 500. Denny delivered his second Harley J. Earl Trophy in 4 years, landing a 1-2-3 charge for JGR. 6 weeks later, Gabehart and Hamlin made a Texas-sized statement, winning an intermediate race and furthering their resurgence. As the weather warmed, however, those two victories look like a twist of fate. 4 straight finishes outside the top 15 from Talladega to Charlotte, and was placed 6th in points exiting Daytona. During July, however, the FedEx team shipped out more success, claiming Pocono and the Bristol night race. With victory number 5 in the heartlands of Kansas, it was looking more and more like Denny's year. That is, until Denny derailed at Texas. It was the Denny of old that day, as his championship ambitions were greatly battered on that autumn afternoon. Entering Phoenix, he found himself 20 points behind rival Joey Logano. The Arizona desert would provide a true test to whether this was the new Denny Hamlin. During the race, the 11 capitalized where the team of seasons past lost the 2010 championship. A clutch restart by Denny Hamlin punched his ticket into Homestead, marking as his second trip to the championship race. Now, the final destination is 200 miles away. The best 267 laps of his life will end the futility and make him a surefire NASCAR Hall of Famer. So far, the 2019 sports calendar year has seen some teams end failing legacies. The St. Louis Blues, a team that went 49 years without a championship, claimed the almighty Stanley Cup. Just a few weeks ago, the Washington Nationals ended their championship drought. A team that lacked a series victory in the playoffs up until October went on a tear, coming up clutch late in games to hoist the hardware. As a Blues fan, it felt pretty damn good to hoist the championship banner, erasing years upon years as the NHL's mockery. I know Denny Hamlin fans are longing for the same outcome. Coming from a Chase Elliott fan, if a JGR driver has to win the title, hopefully it's Denny that delivers the glories to Coach Joe. Get it done, Dennis. For anyone that says the regular season doesn't matter, just take a look at Kyle Busch's journey to Homestead Miami. From early March to mid-April, Rowdy was taking the league by storm, always in the headlines on the verge of making history. After winning truck and Xfinity races left and right, Kyle Busch's first Cup win of 2019 scored him career victory 199. The next weekend at Auto Club, Kyle Busch claimed 200 and tied Richard Petty for the most NASCAR victories in league history. Just 3 races later, Kyle Busch was junked on lap 3. Without a rear bumper, the Skittles team claimed the last great Coliseum, besting his older brother and Kurt Busch. Through the first 11 races, the 18 team scored 11 consecutive top 10 finishes. That ended up tying Morgan Shepherd for the Cup Series record. Although it ended at Kansas, Kyle Busch continued to do Kyle Busch-type things. After a victory in the Poconos, however, the Candyman has been borderline irrelevant. The 18 has been winless for 21 races straight and has watched his JGR teammates claim 8 victories during that span. Many suggest Kyle Busch is reverting to his old self, with the anger and dejection altering his performance. With that stated, they've been quietly lurking and have garnered enough points to make the championship race. While many would like to count him out, this is scary similar to another season for Kyle Busch. 2015 is after winning 4 races back from injury, the first few rounds were pretty much survival. They were inconsistent and couldn't reach victory lane. Until of course the winner-take-all event in Homestead, which crowned him a NASCAR champion. With one single Rowdy restart, the winless drought as well as years of coming up short can be erased. Kyle Busch can stake his claim as the face of the sport and reassert his dominance over teammates Denny and MTJ. Not to mention, there's some history on the line for Joe Gibbs Racing this weekend. They already placed a record 3 drivers in the championship race, more than Hendrick Motorsports since the format's inception in 2014. If you're Rick Hendrick or a hardcore HMS fan, things couldn't get much worse after the Chase Elliott elimination, right? Currently, JGR this season is tied with the 2007 HMS team for the most wins in a single campaign. If any of the 4 JGR Toyotas win Sunday, they will break the tie with victory number 19, likely clinching a championship in the process. Coach Joe's operation could become historic if either Denny, Rowdy, or MTJ hoist the trophy. So there you have it, the field has been set, the storylines have been crafted, and the cars have unloaded in Miami. That leaves only one aspect here to cover, as it's time to pick the 2019 NASCAR Cup Series champion. The new aero package has thrown a wedge into the traditional ideals of the sport. With that, I'm going to go bold here in the final week of the season. Kyle Busch will win his second NASCAR Cup Series championship. Yes, I had him missing the championship before, and he hasn't been his vintage self. Yet that could be a good thing considering he's come up short the past 3 seasons. Back when this format was incepted in 2014, this format was tailor-made for Kyle Busch. Make a daring move and win the race to become the champion. Personally, I think that anger and longing for more has kept him motivated, but he hasn't been able to capitalize. Adam Stevens is a good crew chief, the 18 is a good car, and I think it will all change on Sunday with a daring move to shatter the doubts of driver 18. So anyways, this is NRF signing out, and just remember, life's a beach and then you drive.